Hello everybody, and welcome back to OMB Reviews. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope we're doing well, and today we'll be doing a little bit of a look ahead of the upcoming release of Dune, which is expected to come out tonight. I'm very excited because I have a ticket to go see this film in IMAX at 6 p.m. Cannot wait to go see it, and of course to give my thoughts after I get out of the theater. But before going into what looks to be a rather, I would say, worrying box office weekend for a film like Dune, for a studio like Warner Brothers, please make sure you smash that like button, light up that fire button if you're watching over on Odyssey, and also make sure you're subscribed to the channel with that bell notification turned on. That way you know every time a new video or live stream goes live on the channel. So as you can see from Deadline, Dune looks to make a difference in theaters and HBO Max with $70 million plus global weekend. I think this is being a little bit too cautiously optimistic about the outlook of this film. The film so far has made around $114 to $116 million overseas, and it is now expected to make its domestic opening. However, the domestic opening of the film is not looking to be the strongest at this point in time. Going to be projected to make somewhere between around $30 and maybe $50 million in the domestic marketplace, which would be a very weak opening for a film that is definitely on the higher end budget side of things. And a big part of the $70 million plus global weekend has to do with this film opening in China. That's right, this film is opening up in China, which is once again the reminder that Warner Brothers is working with the Communist Party over there, which means that a vast majority of the money that the film makes is going to be going to fund things like the Uyghur concentration camps, among many other human rights violations. And of course, it's always good to remind people of what is actually going on over there. As it says right here, since being screened to great fanfare before the press since late August, Warner Brothers and Legendary's $165 million budget, Dune finally lands in U.S. theaters, as well as 40 overseas markets, including China, with an eye on a global weekend in the $70 million plus range. Already, the Denis Villeneuve-directed epic, which carries a Rotten Tomatoes 87% certified fresh count, has $129.3 million at the foreign box office from 36 markets. So again, that's a little bit of an update there since opening in mid-September in major markets such as Germany, France, and led by the latter's terrific $26.2 million take. So as you can see, the film has already been out now for a very long time, which means that people have probably been able to pirate this film relatively well. We'll have, of course, some very high-quality copies of that being available as of sometime tonight and tomorrow because of the release on HBO Max. And also, there was, again, this weird thing going on where they were releasing the film even early. They were having some early releases, even using HBO Max as a platform to try and get some hype up for the film, I guess. So again, just kind of a weird decisions all around being made about this film and other films in general with the day and date release model, which has really been a really bad impact and has had a really bad impact on most of the Warner Brothers films that have come out this year. It goes on to say the swing factor, of course, with Dune's ticket sales are no doubt US and Canada. Tracking has the film between 30 and 35 million with a theatrical day and date debut on HBO Max. Due to the studio's pandemic distribution plan this year, theater count is over 4,000 locations. The pick's upcoming offshore weekend, depending on whether China over-indexes, is at $40 million. What makes predictions hard to nail right now is what we hear from exhibition that pre-sales for Dune are squashing everything that comes before it. No Time to Die, Shang-Chi, etc. They're looking at a $50 million domestic start, but that's hard to call as a day and date film. Like this could be heavily front-loaded and then drop off significantly by Saturday. So once again, the HBO Max day and date release is looking to have a pretty major impact here. So it looks like there are some that are suspecting that it'll make around $50 million or so in the domestic marketplace, with around $40 million in the offshore weekend, right? So from the international markets, which would put the film somewhere around $70 to $90 million total. That would put this film a little over $240 million worldwide by the end of the weekend. And that, again, would not be a terrible number there. But if we do see these massive drop-offs, which we are likely to do just because of the HBO Max model, not to say that this film is not going to be able to get some positive word of mouth, because it seems like it has. It's gotten a lot of positive press. A lot of people that I trust, as far as their movie opinions are concerned, have said a lot of really positive things about it. They've also said pretty much all the same thing. This film is something that needs to be watched and deserves to be watched on the big screen. You all know I am a huge fan of Denis Villeneuve. I think that he is phenomenal as a filmmaker, and I think all of his films deserve to be seen on a big screen because of the caliber and the quality of what he is able to offer. And I think that that is something that is so incredibly important for us to be able to talk about, for us to be able to, bring into account. And so we have to keep all of these things there because obviously you have so many different factors going on right now. Of course, you got fans of his, you got fans of Dune. By the way, I'm like 6 hours now into the book, and I'm freaking loving it so far. If you've not gotten the audiobook version of it, I highly recommend it, as it is very well done, very well produced. But what is the actual final number of this film going to be is the big question. So tomorrow we'll get our final estimates for the weekend for the domestic marketplace. The international marketplace is likely going to be around this $40 million number or so. And it'll be interesting to see because obviously $70 million is probably going to be on the lower end of what it's going to make entirely by the end of this weekend. But because this film did cost $165 million to make, the break-even number for this film is well over $400 million worldwide. So if it gets to the $250 million or so that it's expected to make this weekend, you would see that it's theoretically possible potential to be able to reach that break-even number and also be able to make some profit as well. But there are still a lot of X factors that we don't quite know as of yet. So I cannot wait for the numbers to come out to be able to try and crunch some of those numbers. It's going to be also very hard to predict this film because it has been already out for a month in so many markets, but I will do the very best that I can to get some predictions out there. But what are your thoughts about this? Are you excited about Dune? Do you think Dune is going to be a massive success, or do you think that Dune is going to be kind of succumbing to what a lot of films, especially Warner Brothers films, have been succumbing to recently, which is, of course, having those massive budgets? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like this video, smash that like button, not that fire button if you're watching on Odyssey. You're all amazing and beautiful people. Huge shout out to Kara Tharp and Bifford the Hobbit, who are our supporters over on locals.com. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, God bless. And now for a huge shout out to all of my Patreon, Subscribe Star, and Locals members: Andrew Hoyle, animation commentator; Brandon, Brian P., Christopher Bowman, Don Bruno de la Mancha, Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father; Father Damian Cook, Garrett Searles, Harold Francis, Inflamed Wood, Jacob Juice, Jeffrey Toone, Joe Horn, Jonathan Carney, Gomer Kyle, 79, Laura, the Modern Major General's Story, Mike Jackson, Dion, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mondo Spieler, Mr. Peabody, On to June, Orange Hat Reviews, Out of Step with Reality, Priscilla Hall, Rosetta Allen, Stan Andrian, Teresa Martin, Theodore Benden, Tina Bojan, and Tina B., the Empress of the Universe. Thank you for being my Patreon members, and a huge shout out to my Subscribe Star members: The R, Fast Reaction, Nosferatu Gatsu, John B., Perpetual Punster, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., Dean Heiss Slash, the new number 2, J-Rod, the Beer Guru, and ZK-Man. Thank you very much for supporting me over on Subscribestar. And to my one Locals member, Robert Barnes, thank you for supporting me over on Locals. And if you want a name shouted out, or your name rather, shouted out at the end of every single live stream and video, please consider joining on one of those platforms, either Patreon, Subscribestar, or Locals. Links to that can be found in the description. Look at that top link especially. It's called the Willow link there. It'll give you links to all the social media platforms and also ways to support the channel. If you want to be an Army of Asgard level or above member, you can get access to giveaways that I do every single month. I give away 4Ks, Blu-rays, all kinds of stuff. It is a lot of fun. Also, if you join at the Keeper of the Bifrost level, you get access to all of that. Plus, you get access to an exclusive podcast that I do with John the Flick Pick Flickinger. We have a lot of fun. We do that once or twice a month. And if you join at the Chosen of Valhalla level, you get all of that. Plus, in your first month, you get a t-shirt of your choice and send anywhere in the world. And also, you get to be featured on the channel once a month on the Chosen of Valhalla live stream, where we get to hang out and have a good time. So anyway, if any of that sounds good, check out that link in the top of the video as I mentioned. You guys are amazing and beautiful people. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, God bless.